Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today I'm going to be reboxing my copy of Dante's Inferno. This is obviously the Eternal Pledge, the big box. So it may vary from just if you have just the core box or the retail edition, standee edition, whatever. For the most part, everything on this level is pretty self-explanatory and goes back in the way where it came from. You have your levels of the Inferno over here, kind of the chapter boxes. You have your kind of 3D high-rising terrain over here, and then the character tuck boxes right here. And then you have the character save trays right here, just stacked up. There are two different types of these small Euro size cards, and they look the same. I don't know why they made them exactly the same, but there's a stash divider for the Colosseum, or no, I'm sorry, this is the, I believe this is the, I feel like these should be swapped. That's better. So these are the ones that you're going to find, the treasures you're going to come across during your caravan. That's what you're referred to as your group of people as you kind of go through the exploration phases. Now, there are more of those cards, I'm pretty sure, in these tuck boxes. So I think this is going to grow what's in here. Otherwise, there's way more space than is necessary. This one is for the Colosseum. So the Colosseum mode is the kind of one-off mode that you can play. There's an empty stash here that would fill up. They have their own treasures and their objective cards. So that's why I feel like these are kind of tucked over here. Or maybe not. Actually, maybe they should go this way because these are mostly Colosseum cards. Yeah, we'll stick with it that way. That makes more sense. So these are going to be your large tarot size cards of the people you're going to take on in the Colosseum. You can see that a lot of times it's characters doubled up, tripled up. And so those are all right here in this area. Right here you have your Capybara champion kind of expansion. So he's got his own set of maneuver cards here, his own heirloom, and his own card. You could easily mix these in with the rest and just find them when you need them. I don't honestly know how he fits into the system, but those are there. And then the rest of the obviously large cards are right here. I don't think that many more of these are going to be added in, and some of these actually may be taken out and added into your character. I don't know whether you can earn advanced movement maneuvers and things like that outside of playing Colosseum mode. But you'll notice that I have used this empty space here to tuck my 4 dice bags in. These velvet dice bags are nice. There's one for each color. They aren't necessary because you're just the dice are all the same. You don't need to randomize them or anything like that. But this is a nice way to hold them. But there is no spot for them. So interestingly enough, we have to figure out where they're going to go. I think these two will always be able to fit here. It's whether these two are going to fill up and be able to be stashed here as we gain more cards, especially this blue one as our caravan treasures fill up. So I'm going to pull this red one out so we can kind of see where else these might be able to fit. You're going to take this lid and slap that back on there. There is this little cutout right here. I'm not sure what this is for. It feels like it should hold something, but it doesn't really. Then we have our tray here. This has got all of our metallic tokens in them. This is all the tokens there are for the game. I don't know why this is so tall, because it seems to be, unless we're going to gain a lot more of these types of cards, there's way more space here than we need. And then there didn't appear to be a spot in these save boards for your little tracker token. This is just to track your health. So I threw those, kept those in a baggie, and just threw them in there. You're going to be pulling this out and setting it out in front of you during gameplay. So it's also important that this goes tucked right here. And then this, if you slide it on, kind of fits over top. So don't just, don't put it in necessarily this way, because I don't think it's meant to fit that way. I think it's meant to fit like this, and there you can see it settles in on top. This will also be pulled out and will be used during the various modes. So the reason we leave this slot right here is if you have the Eternal Pledge, you got the playmat, and there is a spot for a playmat, which I really do appreciate that they saved room for the playmat. But you also don't have a cardboard board. So there you go. All right, up next here, we have our Book of Chronicles. So this has to go, these next two pieces have to go to the right of these boxes, because if you see these red boxes here, which just look decorative, these are what the upper box with all the miniatures on sits on top of. So we need to make sure we keep these here, and nothing sits higher than that level. But there's the Book of Chronicles here, and then we have our Book of Commandments right next to it. They fit in there nicely. There we go. And there's a couple other rule books that right now I have tucked up on the other one. The art book was also in here, but I'm not going to store that in the game. So you can see at this point there's not a whole lot of room for dice to go anywhere. You know, there's pretty much, you know, this isn't going to fit there without lifting this up. It's not going to fit along there. So if we need to find room for our dice bags, we're going to have to go somewhere else. But I have something, something in mind. I have an idea. Don't know if this would fit better like that or not. It's a little tight, but it works. So there we go. Let me get the larger miniature box. We'll throw that down, and you can see how finally everything is put back together. All right, so here you can see we're just going to take the top of our box here and slide it in. Boom. It fits like that. We'll take the main lid off here. And here you can see where I stored my other, you know, the Coliseum guide and things like that. We need to back out as much as we can there. So these could fit down in that other one and probably be just fine. These are, again, are self-explanatory, 2 to each spot. They only fit in one way, but this is the only place I could see that you could possibly fit these dice trays, because there's more room here than these need to be. So if we say just laid that flat right there, let's do a check here. I know the lid's upside down at this point, but the lid fits on. It's not bulging or anything, and so we're good. So I think that if down the road, or if you have sleeved your cards and you don't have room for these, because if you're going to sleeve all those cards, then it's going to fill up that space a lot faster. You should be able to fit your dice bags. Just make sure you kind of lay them out flat before you put the lid back on. So that's going to be my solution down the road, more than likely. It also, because there's a lot of empty space right here. And so if you were ever to put something, this is such a large box, it's going to go on the bottom of a shelf. But then if you wanted to put a smaller box on top of it, there's actually empty space right here where it could dent your box in. So I would definitely be careful about putting stuff on top of this. Having things like the dice in there just keeps it from having so much empty space, so can't hurt to put them there. But that's going to do it for our reboxing from bottom to top of Dante Inferno. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Again, everything that you saw here came in the Eternal Pledge. I didn't have to add anything, and so we should be good to go. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.